All right. Yeah. Good afternoon from my end here. So earlier on, I talked on requests, right? Working with APIs rather, and it's cut across the use of HTML, rather not HTML, HTTP, that's Hypertext Transfer Protocols, request with the request library, right? And we went through all of that. So today is gonna be a broader scope of it. So the whole of day 2 of week 4 and day 3 of week 4 is embedded on a name called web scraping. Web scraping. So when we say web scraping, what do we mean by the word web scraping? So let's try to give it a definition so that just in case we come across that word somewhere else, you will be able to say out what the meaning is. So web scraping is also referred to um, web data extraction, right? Or when you're harvesting a web. So it involves the process of using a software to extract data from a website. So for this case, we are using Python, which is our software, to extract data from any other website, right? So it can be used for so many reasons, for price comparison, market research, search engine ranking, and all of that. So there are reasons why some of these websites they keep their. Remember we talked about types of API previously. We talked about private, open, and partnership, right? So most times, most companies try to keep their APIs private so as not to get access to their website, because with that you can always try to predict, right? So for those of us that are going to advance into data science fully, trying to predict what should be the outcome of a prize or something. So with that, you can be able to estimate what to be the value of a particular company over a period of time, right? Having studied the algorithms they use. So um that's basically what happens, right? So for the purpose of this class, mind you, let me establish it as web scraping can be legal most times in US as long as it doesn't violate the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA. So why I'm doing this is because of those that are not within the spheres of Nigeria. Then the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or any terms and agreements of a particular service. So it can also be illegal. It can be used for illegal purposes such as stealing of copyrighted content or undercutting prices, right? So when you're able to extract data from a particular website, you can do whatever you want to do with that. But because we are using it for a legal purpose, we have to ensure that it meets, or it doesn't rather violates, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and also the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So we ensure those two bodies or those two acts are not violated. So how do we then perform web scraping? Because when we were looking at day 2, we talked about response, we talked about request and get. So that's where you're just trying to get access, right? But the scope of web scraping goes beyond just getting access to the HTTP. We can as well scrape information from different web pages, right? And as well, extract and paste HTML data easily. So what helps us, the how do I call it now? The library that helps us achieve this is known as Beautiful Soup, right? So here is a Beautiful Soup. So Beautiful Soup is a Python library which is used to scrape information from web pages, right? So it can, or it provides method to extract and paste HTML data easily. So it's one of the easiest way to extract and paste HTML data easily. So let's try to diagnose what HTML stands for. And then we'll now see what HTML paster, because we said it's a method, it provides a method to extract and paste, right? So like I would say, HTML is just a hypertext markup language, right? It is a text-based language that defines the structure and the contents of web pages. So when we mean the structure, it means the header, right? So there are times where you open up a website, you see a header, just like this guy. You're seeing this Jupyter here. It serves as what? The header, right? And then you have the body. The body is where you have the entire component of, or rather the contents that are inherent in that web page. So here are some basic things we can take home from or about HTML. We said it's a markup language, right? It's a markup language in the sense that HTML uses markup to annotate content, right? Which is text that appears between the characters. So you see this guy, you're having text appearing between characters. So this greater than and less than sign are your what? Markup code. So each piece of markup code is called an element or is sometimes tag, right? So if it is an element, HTML element can also be nested, just like this. So if this entity is an element, we have another entity here being an element. And mind you, whenever there is what? An indentation, it means it still falls under this block of code. So this entity is housing this guy, housing this, while this is being housed by body, right? So the body houses this as well, and then the end of the body, and then the close of the code, right? So HTML elements can be nested, meaning that one element can contain another. So just like we have the head containing the body, and the body containing the text that is in the body, right? And then we have other things like the attributes. Attributes are used to add functionality to the elements, right? So just like this, you have body, and this H1 is an attribute telling you that that's the header one. And then the P is a paragraph, right? So all of that, or rather all of those are adding to the, how do they call it? They are like added attributes to this particular website. So let's look very closely. We have installing Beautiful Soup. We are still on Beautiful Soup. We're just trying to explain what HTML is. So I remember I said we'll also check what HTML Pacer, right? So what is HTML Pacer? We want to know what HTML Pacer is. So an HTML Pacer is fed HTML data and calls handler method when start tags, end tags, text, comments, and markup are encountered. So all of that is what forms up our pacer. All right. So it will, for you to have your pacer work perfectly for you, it has to what? Be able to eliminate most of the attributes in the website. In the website and ensure that the website gives you the relevant information you want to get. So how do we go about using Beautiful Soup? So mind you, Beautiful Soup is one of the libraries that you can always use, and is, I think, the most rampant one. So we have installing Beautiful Soup. To use Beautiful Soup, install BS4 and request library. Because we've installed request library previously, we may not need to do that again. So, but before you use Beautiful Soup, you have to do what? Install. Remember how I showed us how to install, coming to the directory, to your terminal, and then your pip install, right? Your pip install comes in here. Then, when you've done that, here is a pip install Beautiful Soup 4 request. The 4 is the version of the Beautiful Soup. So you can either, depending on the make of your PC, you can either install BS4 or Beautiful Soup 4 requests. Creating a Beautiful Soup object. A Beautiful Soup allows you to paste and navigate the HTML content. So it allows you to paste and navigate the HTML content. So you go to the website. Let's say, let's take a simple website. Let's check GitHub, right? And then we are trying to look at, let's navigate to, will this be relevant for this study? Will this be relevant to this study? Okay, I'm trying to check. All right, so let's come back here first. Okay, so we have, okay, haven't installed this guy, the Beautiful Soup for request. So from before, import Beautiful Soup. Watch out for your spelling. The B is a cap lock and the S is in cap lock. Then HTML, your um your column, your double column, close, open and close. The same thing happens here, right? So the same thing happens here, open and close, 3. And then you have your HTML written here. So is how to get this HTML that I was looking out for. Um, there's a shortcut for it, but I'm trying to see um if there is. Okay. Think okay, delete developers too. So the short form is what? Control plus Shift plus I. So when you do this, you have this guy here, right? So this is the HTML. So you can as well, you can even want to copy this guy. So if you look very closely, wherever I touch, to affect this, because everything here has to do with what? The website github.com. So we can, or you can as well check for uh uh what can we check for? Okay, let's make use of this guy. Let's make use of this. I need to copy. Okay, I think I need a request. Yes, I think so. I need a request. Okay, coming, I'm getting what I need gradually. Okay, so um how did I copy that last one? Okay, but if you can copy this, right? Copying this, okay, I think it's here. But I needed to be able to copy the entire element, right? So that it will make more sense to us. Okay, here is it. So now I've been able to copy what? The entire elements in GitHub, github dot what? Dot com. But if you notice, these elements are just what? The header. Sorry, the body. So we can as well try to see if we can get the header. So we can copy this header as well. All right. So let's see. So we have, okay, it's making more sense now. So that means I have to copy from where? The header. So I haven't copied from the header. right? So I'll have this HTML, the script, anonymous, and all that. But this website is a very big one, and we may not have the time to scrape it here on this call because of network challenge. So, but that's just how to copy. All right, so I will continue from where I stopped. So I was saying that this is just how to copy and paste the HTML text, right? So for the purpose of this, we have this short guy, and then our soup equals what? Beautiful soup, what we imported, open bracket HTML, then HTML.pacer, right? Because you want to see what you have script using beautiful soup. So then you now have what? Your print function here displaying the text in that particular file. So let's run it. You have what is displaying is example. This is an example page, right? Extracting and pasting HTML data, common method. Finding elements where you make use of find tags and attachments. So we find matching tags, find all matching tags. So the tag you're looking for be this guy. The way you're looking for all the tag, you use find underscore all, right? Then navigating the DOM. What is DOM? Sorry, I didn't put up that. I didn't put that out there. So DOM is known as document object model, right? Document object model. So it's a programming API that allows scripts and programs to access and modify the structure. So you can navigate in the DOM as you're navigating the document was object model, which will allow you to do so much. So access tags directly using soup.tag underscore name, access attributes with tags, right? So this is it. You always have your HTML coming first. HTML, which is the developer side, just like I showed us previously. There's this where you have those codes, right? And then you define your soup. When you're done with your soup, so the item you're looking for, most times you just be looking for either one or two. So you'll find all, and then li, what class are you looking for? The class where the item is in. The class is item. So for item in items, print item dot text. So it will print out everything that's on that item. All right. So practice test or practice exercise. We have scrape and display livestock prices. Problem, use beautiful soup to scrape livestock prices from a financial website, right? You can use any stock price of your choice, any financial market of your choice rather. So previously, ensure that the website allows scraping by checking its robots.txt. For example, we'll be using placeholder. So this placeholder, I'm just using it. It's not a live. It's not a real livestock price website. So it will replace the real life source for livestock prices. So you see what I did here. Import request, import this guy. So remember you have your URL. as if you're working with you remember I told us you need to get requests first before you can even apply your beautiful soup, right? So that's why I had to put us on through the request. So do the same thing, replace the HTML with replace this particular website with a real website and see what it will become, and let me know in the comment section what improvements you've made and what are the changes that needs to be done. So that will end the class for today. Thank you so much.